empty with a missed field goal. And it's a keeper for Patterson. And Patterson shows the speed in the clear midfield. Can they run him down? Shelly Patterson knocked out.
Michigan debuts a zone arc belly read. I think I'm saying that wrong, but regardless, let's look at the right side here. It's a zone blocking scheme. You're going to have JBB on Wenyu blocking down to the right. Ruiz and Brayson are going to double here. Brayson will be looking to get to the second level. He doesn't eventually, but they all do well on their blocks here. Good movement. On the left side, you're going to have Gentry and Runyon really caving in this defender in here. And again, Gentry is going to look to the second level, but he doesn't really have anyone to block there. And again, look at this movement that they all get on this right side of the line, so that's a really good job. Key to this block is going to be McCune. So he's doing an arc block out here, what this is called. What Patterson is reading is this edgemost defender right here. And what this edgemost defender is doing, he's coming down and he's going to see this arc block coming from McCune. He's going to think that he's coming to block him, so he's going to brace for that. Since he comes down so sharply, Patterson on this read here is not going to give this ball to Evans. Instead, he's going to fake it and loop to the outside and keep. You'll also see this linebacker crashing down really hard because Michigan hasn't shown much of the quarterback keeping at all, especially now with Patterson. They've shown it with McCaffrey a little bit, but not now with Patterson. So you see here, he's bracing for this block. Patterson reads that, keeps. This linebacker is already flowing too far, and by this time it's already too late. McCune's already going to get this block on this edge defender here. So, you know, really good play design. Patterson is free. He doesn't quite have the speed to get all the way down the field. I thought this might have been a block in the back, but you'll see his left hand here get into the shoulder, and it's not a block in the back. So overall, great play design and great execution all around.
Higdon finally did take the handoff after 7.
Touchdown for Higdon on an inside zone here, and he gets a nice little throwdown. On the left side here, you got McCune one-on-one. He does well. Great movement from JBB and, Runyon and Bradison here on the left side. And then you're going to have Ruiz with a tough job here. He has nose tackle, and plus he's got two linebackers who kind of push him over in the A gap, but overall he does well. And, I mean, essentially takes out three guys here that account for him, so not too bad. You see the good movement over here on the left side as well. No issues there. On the right side of the play, you have JBB and Onwenu on a huge double of this defensive tackle who gets moved into the end zone here. So really good job. And then you got Gentry on the defensive back, Van Ginkel here, and he just kind of washes him down the line here to the left side. You know, I think that leaves Patterson reading this guy. You'll see here the mesh point isn't great. I think, again, he's probably reading this guy. I can't really see him too well, and maybe that's what creates this bit of a scary mesh point. You want to see the ball, you know, better seated in Higdon's back pocket there. But overall, you know, good blocking overall, and then pretty funny here. Higdon just kind of throws down this guy holding onto the ball for whatever reason. So asserting your dominance, buddy.
American Samoa. Tough to move. Play action. Patterson takes a look downfield and delivers to a wide open receiver. And Nick.
Nice play action pass to Eubanks here. Let's look at the right side of the offensive line first. Wisconsin's only going to send two on this side. They're going to send Connolly late and then this defensive end. So Michigan's got, you know, three blockers here on the right to deal with that. They all do a pretty good job. No pressure gets through on this right side. You'll see Gentry does a good job helping on both blocks. So, you know, no one's really getting through here by the time that Patterson's getting ready to throw this ball. Left side needed some help. So I think Ruiz was looking at this linebacker worried of a blitz here. As a result, this defender gets through here. You'll have Runyon and Bradison on a double team on defensive end. Number 99 is clear through here. Higdon does a really nice job to get a chunk of him to allow Ruiz to get back in front of him. This nose tackle will still get a little bit of pressure on Patterson. Not terrible, but you'd like to see Ruiz do a better job here. DPJ running a deep post. You're going to have Nico Collins on kind of a skinny flag. You're going to have Eubanks on a outside release kind of corner flag route as well. Then Higdon, after the play action, is going to head to the flat just to keep this defensive back up. You'll see Patterson's eyes right out of the play action is onto this safety. He wants to see his depth here for this route combo between Collins and Eubanks. You know, Collins is threatening deep. Eubanks is threatening the middle here. He wants to see which route this safety is going to go to. So notice that he notices the hips, and it looks like this defensive back is going towards Collins' route. And notice the eyes now are looking towards Collins. This is to get that safety who's still looking back at Patterson to drift into that route. He's still looking at Collins right now. Boom. Now he throws. Since Higdon's over here, that's going to suck Van Ginkel up. And since his eyes were on this route, that's going to force the safety to stay back as well. That leaves a wide open Eubanks and a nice easy pass for him to catch. So good job by eyes, good blocking, and good help from Higdon there on the pressure early.
Hasn't yet got on track, just 11 yards rushing on his 7 carries. They fake it to him, and Patterson looked downfield and now delivers a long throw, which is caught, tight-roping his...
Great concentration for DPJ here on this play action pass. You'll notice Wisconsin's only sending 4 on pressure. Michigan does pretty well to give Patterson a lot of time here in the pocket. Eventually, you'll see that Gentry does get beat. But, you know, up until this point, Patterson's had a lot of time. He's got a huge pocket here to work with. You'll notice here, right about now, 56 has beaten Gentry at this point, and he's resorted to holding his shoulder. I think Michigan got pretty fortunate that that wasn't called, since it did give some extra time for Patterson to deliver a ball there. As far as routes go, let it play here so you can see a little bit more. Okay. So you have McCune on this deep cross here. You have DPJ on this kind of what looks like a kind of a post route before an out route. On the outside, you're going to have Collins on a post route. So there you saw DPJ's cut, and that's where Patterson decides to go. As far as his eyes, right after this, oh, I'm sorry, you do have Higdon going out to the flat after. As far as Patterson's eyes, it looks like he's looking out at the coverage on DPJ and Collins. He's now shifting over to see the viability of McCune's route over the middle, looking at this deep safety. Doesn't like what he sees there, so he revisits back over here, kind of probably on this defensive back and this safety. Given his this safety's alignment and where he's pointing on DPJ, it does look like this is probably his best option. Seems like Patterson was feeling the pressure late here, so decides to go there. You know, overall, I don't think this is really an option either, so I can't really blame you know, Patterson for holding the ball for this long. He didn't have a whole lot of options. You know, good play by the defender to get a tip on the ball, but good concentration by DPJ to pull it in. Big run for Higdon on this outside zone pin pull concept. Let's look at the backside first. You're going to have JBB going down the line, picking up defensive tackle, and McCune on the backside, kind of sealing this backside of the play. Both do a good job here. You're going to have Ruiz going down, getting a piece of this tackle before getting to this backside linebacker. He does a really good job against his initial block, and then boom, getting to the second level, sealing off this linebacker. Really important job, and does well blocking TJ Edwards there. You're going to have Unwendy with a really tough job. He's going to cut off the butt of Ruiz and get to this second level to number 7, this safety that you see over here. So really good job of getting in space and then really hunting down that safety. You have Runyon on this kick out block over here. He does a really good job of setting that left edge of that hole. He does a good job just washing him out. You have really good block, probably best block of the play from Bradison. He's pulling. You're going to see he has no one initially. He stops, notices this linebacker in the hole, sizes him up, and doesn't let the linebacker get around him. He really squares up and gets a good kick-out block here. This allows Higdon to wait up for his block here. You have the pin block for Gentry. He pushes this defender down the line just enough to give Higdon enough space to work to the outside here. So good job by Gentry. And then, finally, Higdon really makes this play too. He sees this block forming for Bradison. He doesn't know which way to go yet. Makes a good decision here to hold up, follow this block to the inside. And then he has, he's got Ruiz working downfield. He's got Nwenu going downfield. He's got Perry coming late across the field, who gets a decent block here on this wide receiver. So good job by Higdon. Good blocking all around.
Game. And it's a keeper, and Patterson.
Inside zone here for Michigan for the touchdown run here. Pretty easy concept here. You're going to have McCune one-on-one here. You're going to have Runyon and Bradison double teaming this defensive tackle. Ruiz gets pushed back by this nose guard here. Runwenu's going to initially help before getting to this linebacker on the second level. Then you're going to have both JBB and Gentry blocking down to their left. Off of this run action here, you're going to have Patterson reading off of Van Ginkel on this right edge. Since Van Ginkel will be crashing inside, that's why you'll see Patterson taking it and keeping to the outside for the touchdown here. So notice nothing too much of note here that I'll be looking at. Just that this edge defender does crash down. Also notice that this linebacker is completely fooled, and that kind of makes this play. He never reads Patterson having the ball at all, and he is absolutely lost. The only guys who actually know at this point are Van Ginkel, who's already engaged, and this backside linebacker. You'd like to see DPJ pick up a little bit better of a block here, but at that point it's just Patterson getting a touchdown. So good play, good fake, and good read.
Peoples-Jones in motion. They fake the jet sweep. Patterson rolls, looks for the end zone, and an
nice bootleg pass here out of a fake jet sweep to Donovan Peoples-Jones. So notice that this fake here coincides with the blocks that Michigan is throwing on this left side here. And, Michigan's running this action in order to get these linebackers and safeties for Wisconsin to kind of flow here, and that will open up a couple of the routes that Michigan is looking for here. The routes for Michigan, you're going to have first Higdon going out to the flat on this right side. Kind of behind him also in the flat will be McCune here. And then on the back side, you'll have Nico Collins on a deeper cross in the back of the end zone, kind of as a third option. And you'll notice that Patterson's progression goes from to the right side to Higdon. So right now he's looking, okay, will Higdon be open? It looks like that defensive back is in position, so now he's going to work inside, probably right here. And here on the spacing here for McCune to the flat. There's two guys there, not a whole lot. Now he's working inside, seeing, okay, what's the coverage on Nico Collins look like? Is there anyone shifting back into the back of the end zone here? It looks pretty clear, and that's why Patterson decides to throw in this lane. He's got a nice lane to throw to this route, and it's a nice, easy pitch and catch for Patterson and Collins there. So great play design and well executed.
touchdown run to there. 12 for 17 passing. Higdon breaks free into the secondary and bang.
Huge split zone pickup for Michigan here. Let's look at the backside here. Left side, you got Runyon, Bradison, and Ruiz all blocking left here. They all do a pretty good job. They get good movement. Nothing really to note here. And Unwenu does a really good job. He's going to notice linebacker 43 Connolly shooting this A gap. As a result, Unwenu's initially blocking to the right. He's going to redirect and get just enough of Connolly here to where Higdon will have enough room to cut back across this play. So really good job by Unwenu. Knows how he gets his hip into him and really drives the linebacker to the left. That gives Higdon enough room to cut there. So really important block there. Another great double team from JBB and McCune here. They really get great movement here, and McCune does a great job picking up Edwards on the second level here. So notice the double team really gets great movement, and now McCune's in excellent position to pick up the linebacker, and that really creates the left side of this hole for Higdon. So excellent job. Big block here is for Jared Wangler on this right side of the play. You're going to notice that given this fake, this defensive back is kind of frozen. I think he's nervous about this potential rollout for Patterson. Since he's frozen there, that gives plenty of time for Wangler to get there. By the time he notices, Wangler's in his face. Also notice that DPJ is already here getting the safety. Got to watch out for DPJ here. It looks like he is maybe holding a bit here. Just got to watch out for that in the future. But really good play, great running overall, and just a good executed play.
Activity. Higdon tries to bounce it, breaks a tackle, gets a block, and Karan Higdon.
So actually the same exact split zone play that we just saw in the last one. Let's look at the left side here. Same blocks. You got Runyon one-on-one. You got a good double team from Bradison and Ruiz this time on this defensive tackle. They get good movement. You will see Connolly here is free through this B gap. But, you know, overall, good job by the offensive line on that left side. Looking at the right side, you're going to have similar movement from Unwenu. He's going to check this right side before bouncing to the left and picking up this blitzing linebacker through the A gap. So he does a good job picking that up. Stays engaged with them throughout the play. You got a good double team here from JBB and Gentry. And Gentry will work to the second level again to seal this left edge here for the backside linebacker flowing through. And that kind of creates this lane again on this right side for this hole. You're going to see Ben Mason cutting across the formation here. And again, you're going to have a defensive back who comes up and is kind of frozen by this potential rollout for Patterson. And here it is again, this block right here. So that sets the right edge of this hole for a cutback there for Higdon, or actually where I think the play is designed to go. Then, you know, on either side you have both Collins and DPJ going for a safety here. So, you know, I'm not exactly sure what Higdon read to not take this path and instead go to his left. You know, for all intents and purposes, it probably wasn't the right decision since there was a linebacker here that was free, and you see a really nice lane here to run. So, you know, probably not the best decision to cut left here, but, you know, overall he makes a play, makes a couple guys miss, and picks up a chunk gain. So, you know, good play. Might have been bigger if he took the right side, though.
94 yards rushing. Higdon approaching the century mark. Can he get out of this carry? Cuts it back, and yeah, Higdon over.
Outside zone for Michigan here. Let's look at the right side. JBB, Onwenu, and Collins kind of setting this right edge here, not letting anyone flow into the backfield here. They all do a good job. No issues to report there. You're going to have Ruiz and Bradison doubling this nose tackle with Bradison wanting to get to this backside linebacker after the initial double team. Doesn't really get to Connolly there on the second level. So you can see he's starting to flow over here. But, you know, they do well enough on the nose tackle. He's a pretty good player. Runyon and McCune one-on-one on their defenders here. McCune's going to get absolutely blown up here by TJ Edwards. Just tosses him aside, so that's going to leave two edge defenders here. That'll actually cause this play to bounce. I'll show you Wangler's block here. Jared Wangler's coming across the play here, I think as a seal block here to try to get this lane open for Higdon. Given that McCune just got ejected, there's two edge defenders here, and Wangler kind of overruns it. Notice this gap here for these two defenders. Given that he actually gets away with a holding, I think, right here, holding his arm right here, given that Higdon really has to cut outside since this hole is not really an option anymore. So he really has to accelerate to the outside, bounce it. Fortunately, Michigan didn't get called for that. DPJ is going initially inside before setting a block here to try to form the left side of this hole. Notice this path if Wangler does actually pick up this block. You know, obviously, given that Higdon has to make two guys miss, he has to bounce it, so DPJ's block on this guy wasn't possible. He does do a good job looking upfield. He possibly gets away with a block in the back right there. Probably definitely does, actually. but, you know, chalk that up for a win for the refs, I guess. So, you know, not the best executed play, but it works for, I think, 17 yards or so, or 11 yards. 11 yards.
Coming in.
The backup from Colorado, and he keeps it, and he can run. McCaffrey, not quite Christian speed, but enough to score. In the
Zone read out of pistol formation gets McCaffrey a touchdown as well. Let's look at the left side of the line here. You're going to have Runyon and Bradison one-on-one assignments. They get really good movement on their guys here to the left side of the line, so good job there. You're going to have Ruiz one-on-one on the nose tackle, and then a double team with Onwenu and JBB. All three of these guys get good movement on their assignments. Notice how far they all got push on this left side, or on this right side here. Block, I'd like to see a little better. Gentry's tasked with getting this front side linebacker, Connolly, who's kind of flowing to this play. He doesn't really get square with him. He's kind of off to this side. You'd like to see this a little bit better of a block. I mean, it ends up being okay, but might not in the future. We have this main block here on this edge for McCune. He's going to let this edgemost defender come in because this is who McCaffrey's going to be reading. Given that, we're going to have McCune. Notice how this guy crashes down. That's McCaffrey's read. And now we have McCune picking up this edgemost defender, this defensive back. And McCaffrey does a good job reading off of that. And the rest is a touchdown. And he really accelerates upfield and gets past TJ Edwards, an All-American linebacker. So really good play and good to see McCaffrey in the end zone here.